Live. I'm going to be walking you through how to land a higher paying job in the next 30 days, guaranteed. I'm going to be talking to you about the biggest challenges many of you face when it comes to getting a job interview and getting hiring managers to pick you when they see your resume. Like, why are you not being picked or selected, right? I'm going to talk to you about that. I'm going to talk to you about the 3 or 4 big mistakes every candidate makes, almost every candidate makes, including you, when it comes to applying for jobs, which is the reason why you don't get that many calls, right? And I'm going to tell you what those issues are so you can fix it and so you can get more job interviews. I do have to ring the bell today. Got 2 more individuals on my fast track program who reached out to me today and got interviews. Not got interviews, got job offers. James H. and John S. So James is a project manager, does a lot of commercial projects. And I didn't know this. He actually told me this today. And when he sent me an email, I was like, what? Why didn't you share this? So he's been on the fast track program for right at about 30 days, and he had 3 job offers in the last 30 days. He said, and this is what I tell everybody on the fast track program: first week, nothing's going to happen. You're going to apply to a bunch of jobs. But when that second week hits, you're going to get inundated with a ton of people saying, hey, I want to do interviews with you. And then when we do an interview prep, and then you start getting offers. That's what happened to him, and he was blown away. And so there's still another job he's interested in, and so he's continuing the process there, even though he started the job 2 weeks ago. So if he started the job 2 weeks ago, that means it took him less than 21 days to get a higher paying job. Okay, and John has 3 offers on the table. He's already turned 1 down. Interview with the chairman of the board for another job yesterday, and got an offer for another job yesterday as well. He's waiting on this one offer from this company out of Chicago, $190,000 a year. So we'll see what that looks like over the course of the next couple of days. Anyway, so I'm going to walk you guys through how you can do the exact same thing. I'm going to show you a simple and easy way that you can create a resume that attracts the attention of hiring managers and recruiters. Search for jobs that match what you are looking for in terms of job position and pay. Interview to get hiring managers to give you an offer, and get higher paying offers by sending a 3-sentence email back once you get an offer. Many of you are struggling. I know you're struggling. I talk to people every day. I get messages from more than 10,000 people every single year that we help. Either we review their resume, or we fix their resume, or they're on a fast track program, or do coaching sessions, or they purchase books or whatever. So more than 10,000 people every single year. And every one of you have the same common issue. Every single person does. What's that issue? Has nothing to do with your skill, your ability, or willingness to do a job. You don't know what the process is. Now, what do I mean? So this is your resume, right? When you see a job posted on the internet, like on a job board, and you say, yeah, that job is perfect, and you click submit, you have no idea what happens to your resume and why nobody calls you back. You have no idea. So I'm going to tell you. And if you fix it, you'll see that you'll get a lot more interviews. And then I'm going to talk to you about, again, jobs, right? I'm going to tell you how many jobs you should be applying to every single day, and why. Then I'm going to talk to you about job interviewing. Most people lose the job when they get to an interview in the first 120 seconds. You lose the job because you answer the first 2 questions wrong. I'm going to explain to you what the job interview is really all about. This is what I do when I do interview prep and one-on-one coaching with clients. I'll explain exactly what the job interview is about, and I'll tell you every single question a hiring manager will ask you, why they are asking that question, and how you should answer. I am going to be doing resume reviews today, either live or right after the live. I do have a team standing by right now to do resume reviews as well. So if you want me to review your resume and give you a free critique so you can get more job interviews and you can get more calls, which gives you more options, then email it to me. I'm going to say my email address is daniel@dscds.com. 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 So what you can do is you can email me your resume. I will look at it, even though I'm going to walk through resumes here in just a second. And then I'll tell you, this is what you need to fix. This is what you need to remove. This is what you need to add. And this is going to get you a lot more interviews. Okay? So who am I talking to today? This is what these are the people I'm talking to. If you are currently in a job and you want to change jobs because you want more opportunity, more better pay, whatever, you're just sick and tired of the people you work with and you want another opportunity, and you want to be in a new job. Listen, in a new job in 30 days. So today is June 10th. By July 10th, guaranteed, if you want to be in a new job with a written offer, not somebody making you a promise, I'm talking about somebody writing you an offer, getting multiple offers. If you're someone who wants that, then I'm talking to you. If you have been laid off from a job, whether it's a government job or private company, doesn't matter, and you are wanting a job, I'm talking to you. If you have been searching for a job for the past 1 month, 2 months, 1 year, 2 years, however long, and you just have not been able to break through, I'm talking to you. If you have been getting job interviews, but 3 days after you get an interview, you think you crushed it, and 3 days after you get an interview, you are getting a rejection letter and you don't know why, and everybody's telling you this, they say this: you did so good, you did good in the interview, you did so good, you did good in the interview, but we decided to go with someone internally, or we decided to go with another candidate that has more experience, or we decided to go with the person that has relevant experience. They're lying through their teeth to you. They're not telling you why they don't want to hire you. I'm going to tell you why they said no. Okay? They interview you, and you've heard that before. I'm going to tell you. Okay? All right. RAJ says he's going for a teaching interview tomorrow. I'm going to give you some tips. So pay attention, RAJ. All right. So if you are someone who is getting interviews, and then every time you get an interview, the offer is just lower than what you want, it's not worth your time, I'm going to tell you why that's happening too. Okay? So if this is your first time joining me live, let me give you the 15-second 10,000-foot flyover of who I am and what I do. So I've been in talent acquisition and recruiting for 36 years. I am the designer of every hiring process for those companies that I work for. Meaning, when a hiring manager needs to hire for a job, they come to my office first. Once they got approval, they come to my office. I create the job description and get their approval. I am the one that gives them the salary range by doing a salary survey and get their approval. Once I got their approval, I am the one who publishes it in the applicant tracking system. And once I click publish, it goes to our career site. I manage the jobs on the career site that you see. And then 6 to 8 hours later, it goes over to the job boards. I manage the job boards that you see the job posted on. When you click apply to a job and you submit your resume for this job, it comes back into the applicant tracking system that I manage. And I look at your resume or someone on my team, and I'm the one that says, yes, you can interview with the hiring manager, or no, you cannot. That's right. I'm that person. Okay? So I'm going to tell you why hiring managers tell you no, and the big mistakes that you are making that you need to stop making. All right? So let's get started. Tap the screen, like. I want to get to 10,000 likes today. So for the next 3 minutes, just tap the screen while you're listening to me about resumes. And I want us to get to 10,000 likes. The first 100 people who email me a copy of their resume, I'm going to review your resume for free and give you a critique. Just keep tapping the screen until we get to 10,000 likes. We're at 1,000 on TikTok, 9,000 more to go. All right. So step one. When you see a job that is posted on a job board and you see that you are qualified for that job, please, out of participation, just keep tapping the screen. And you click submit, what happens to your resume? Okay. Your resume goes from that job board to an applicant tracking system, an ATS, where it will sit there until a recruiter opens up your file. Okay? That's what happens. If they have recruiters, or a hiring manager will open up your file. This is what happens in the mistake you are making. A hiring manager, when they open that file, they are glancing at your resume to see if you are the solution to their problem. Every job solves a problem for a company. Every job does. Okay? Now I'm going to paint a picture for you in just a second so you can see what hiring managers are looking for. But when they open your resume, if it is not clear what you do, they're going to throw your resume in the trash can. Now, I want to be clear about what I mean when I say what you do. Hiring managers are not looking at your work history to see what you do. They don't have the time to do that. Okay? They're looking for something very specific. Now, I'm going to paint a picture and do dual play here. So I want you to think about this. Please. Imagine you woke up this morning and you walked into your kitchen. And when you walked into your kitchen, your floor was flooded. And you didn't know where the water is coming from. You looked underneath your kitchen sink and you see water is pouring out of the wall. You decide to pick up the phone and call a bunch of plumbers. Hey, I need help, 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 help. Okay? 1 hour later, 3 people show up at your door. Okay? One person has on a white t-shirt, a plumber's belt and khaki pants. Nothing is written on this t-shirt. Another person has on a black t-shirt, khaki pants, and a plumber's belt with tools. Nothing's written on that person's t-shirt. There's a third person standing there. They have on a gray t-shirt, khaki pants, and a plumber's tool belt. But across the very top of their t-shirt, it says, expert plumber at your service, right? Of the 3 people that I just described to you, which one are you most likely to invite into your house to fix your problem? I want you to type in the chat 1, 2, or 3. Be honest. 1, 2, or 3. Most people would say 3. Okay? Many of you on all of the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, you're saying 3. So let me explain to you how that relates to you. Your resume has to tell a hiring manager the same thing when they see it. Imagine you walk up to the hiring manager's office. Okay? You've seen that they have a job opening. You are standing there. And it is almost like when they open your resume, it looks like this. It's blank. Now, I'm not saying it's nothing written on it. Your resume is blank. It doesn't show the hiring manager what they want to see. What do they want to see? Whatever your skill is, Rage, you are a teacher. Expert teacher. Experienced lead teacher. Whatever that is, that's the first thing they want to see, because they have a problem and they're trying to see if you have the skill to solve that problem. When you show them that you are an expert, whatever you are, you have just established credibility. Most of you are like the first two people. You submit a resume that a hiring manager doesn't even want to read. So you might as well give them a blank piece of paper and say, figure out what I do. They're not going to do that. So because you don't clearly, right up front, first thing they see, tell them exactly what you do, the thing, they are sending you a rejection letter. That is the first big problem you and thousands of you have. Okay? The second thing, that plumber is standing at your door and it says, expert plumber at your service, 20 years experience. Okay? Now, why do hiring managers want to know how many years experience you have? That's how they determine what they're going to pay you. The reason why you don't get higher paying jobs is because your expertise is not clear before they talk to you. So hiring managers don't know the level of your expertise. So they're thinking, best case scenario, middle of the road offer, right? See, now you think that when you interview, that is when they determine pay. It's not when we determine pay. We determine what we are willing to pay you based on your resume and what we see. So if we don't see much, then you're starting at the bottom end of the pay area. Nobody tells you this, but this is how it works. So you got to put the number of years of experience you have. Why? Now you just established trust. So credibility has been established by telling them you're an expert, whatever. The number of years experience has established trust. Okay, so now the hiring manager is thinking, I think this person can help me. And they look further. Now you're going to tell them two more things. Okay, this is right up front. This next one, every single one of you, you're missing it from your resume. It's one of the reasons why hiring managers will stop and call you. Okay? And it is how good you are doing it. Now, what do I mean? Metrics, percentages, data, revenue generated, cost savings, number of people you talk to on the phone if you're a call center rep, number of doors you knock on if you're in sales, number of people you process if you're in payroll, and so on and so on and so on. It has to be numbers tied to it. Let me explain to you why. When a hiring manager comes to me and sits with me and says, hey, we need to hire a payroll clerk to take over payroll, I ask the question, even though I might know the answer, what kind of level of expertise you want? Like how many people do they need to do direct deposits for every 2 weeks? So they may say, well, we are doing direct deposits for 3,000 people a week. Right? Well, that's the level of expertise they're trying to find. If you only do 300 a week, nobody's going to hire you for that job, because they don't think you have the expertise to handle that amount of volume. So most of you do not even include this on your resume. I don't care if you work at McDonald's. How many burgers do you flip an hour? I use that example, that simple example, so it makes sense to you. How many baskets of fries do you drop? How many people do you talk to on the phone every day? How many sales do you close? How many clients do you take care of as an account manager? How many projects do you do per year as a project manager? You understand? That's important, because the hiring manager is trying to make a determination about whether you are their top choice. but you're missing it from your resume. It's not there. I'm telling you this. I know it. I see thousands of resumes a month. I have reviewed more than 750,000 resumes in my career. I can look at your resume and in seconds tell you a hiring manager will talk to you or they won't talk to you. And here's why. I'm not going to just tell you arbitrarily. I'm going to explain to you why they won't, right? And then you could change it. All right. Now, there's one additional thing that when we do people's resumes that we fix and we add. This one thing I learned as a recruiter that will make a hiring manager call you first. I don't care if they have 20 people that they're considering. They will call you first. And it's called a value statement. The value statement is centered around telling a hiring manager in a very clear and direct way, this is what I bring to the table if you hire me. Okay? Let me give you a good example. Hiring managers do that when we post positions. We list pay. Okay? This is what you're going to get if you get the job. So you see what they bring to the table. But they don't know what you bring to the table. So we call it a value statement. It's telling them how you're going to help them. Nike does this, right? So here's what Nike says. Nike says, we're coming out with a brand new premium shoe on June 10th. This shoe is going to help you run faster, jump higher, go further, and win in life, right? So it tells you how you're going to help, how it's going to benefit you, how it's going to help you. That's what, and then it says, get it for $199, right? And so you're not thinking about $199. You're thinking about, I'm going to jump higher, I'm going to run faster, I'm going to go further, I'm going to win in life. This shoe is for me. Okay? So every hiring manager is looking for a benefit. The benefit you get is the pay that you get every 2 weeks or every month, depending on what your pay cycle is. But what does a hiring manager know about how they're going to benefit if they hire you? Well, the value statement tells them that. I help you to reduce turnover as a recruiter, to increase the quality of candidates by 95%, right? Whatever that number is, you're not telling hiring managers that. And so, because there is no value statement, you're stuck in the crowd. You don't stand out. That value statement is going to cause you to stand out. So the 4 things every hiring manager wants to see, and that expert plumber says, expert plumber with 20 years experience serving 20,000 customers, I help you stop your leaky sink from leaking in 5 minutes or less, right? That person can come into your house and fix your problem right now, and you don't care what they're going to charge, right? Because they've identified to you how they are the solution to your problem. You don't do that when you submit your resume. And that is exactly what hiring managers are looking for. So the big mistake you're making is you're failing to tell hiring managers how you are the solution to their problem. Now, you think you're telling hiring managers that by listing your work history. But let me give you a simple surprise. Hiring managers don't read your work history on your resume until about 1 hour prior to your interview. If that's a surprise to you, type wow. They don't look at your work history. That's not why they pick you. So you've been doing it wrong. Now, again, another reason why I know this is because when I submit candidates to a hiring manager, the things I just told you need to tell them are the things they ask me when I submit you. They ask me that. Well, Daniel, what do they do? How much experience do they have? Have they done it at this level? Like, how many of the things have they done? Right? And then I add in the value statement. Okay? So the point I'm trying to make is, one of the reasons why you are failing to get calls for job interviews is because your resume does not show hiring managers what they want to see. They don't want to see your work history. They don't want to see a professional summary. That's not what they want to see. They don't want to see the college you graduated from, your education or your certification. They don't want to see that. So you have to stop leading with that. All right? Now, the first 25 people in the next 5 minutes, not 5 minutes, in the next 1 minute who sends me their resume, I'll review your resume for free and tell you if there's something missing and what you can fix, what you can't fix. So, I'm going to tell you another reason why you don't get phone calls. And I challenge you to search the entire internet universe and see if somebody else will say what I'm about to tell you. The second reason why you are not getting phone calls when you apply to jobs is this. When you apply to a job, let's say you apply to a job today. And let's say you're one of the first 10 people who apply. You think that because you are one of the first people to apply, you're going to be one of the first people whose resume is looked at. We wait 3 days after the job has been public before we start looking at resumes. So every day, every minute, every hour that somebody applies to a job after you, your resume continues to go down to the bottom of the list. Now, when we get ready to start looking at resumes, you would think it will be fair for us to start at the first person who applied, but we don't do that. We start with whoever's at the top, which is usually the last person who applied, and we go down to down the list. So another reason why you're not getting phone calls for interviews is because your resume is at the bottom of the pile and they don't get to it, so nobody ever sees it. If that is a surprise to you, type OMG. What? You mean to tell me I'm qualified for this job and I'm not being picked because they never got to my resume? Correct. And nobody, I challenge anybody. Search the internet and see if you find that. That's exactly what happens. Now, there's a way to mitigate this. There's a way to not even worry about that. I'm about to tell you that in just a second. But let me explain to you what happens. When we post and publish a position in talent acquisition, we do not start looking at resume, or we do not look at resumes every time someone applies to a job. We typically will wait for 100 to 200 applications or 3 days. Okay? That's what typically happens. 100 to 200 applications or 3 days. Because we're trying to get enough candidates in the pipeline that we can look at, that we can submit to the hiring manager. Okay? So that magic number is really about 100, 150 people. Now I don't want you to get concerned about this too much. I mean, it happens all the time, but I don't want you to get too concerned about it, because here's the deal. 1 out of every 20 people who apply for a job actually qualify. About 5% of the people who you see when you look at LinkedIn that says 200 people applied, only about 5% of those people actually have the qualifications we're looking for. So if you're one of those individuals, that's a good thing. But if we find 10 or 12 people before we get to you and you're at the bottom, we're not going to call you. That's the truth. Okay? So, how do you mitigate that? I'm going to tell you in just a second. I want you to be in a position where you never have to worry about that ever happening. Ever. Okay? I'm going to tell you how to do that. This is what I show people on my Fast Track program. My Fast Track program is the program where I am the person's personal recruiting assistant, and I walk them through getting a higher paying job in 30 days or less. I rang the bell when we first got on, because we had 2 people that reached out to me today who's on the Fast Track program. One has only been on the Fast Track program for 14 days, and he has 3 offers. He turned down 1. And he's waiting on a 3rd one for $190,000. And then there's a project manager. The first guy's a senior business development executive. And the second guy is a project manager, commercial construction project manager. And he got 3. I didn't even find out until today. He sent me an email. He's been on the Fast Track program like 28 days, and he had 3 offers. He started the job 2 weeks ago and didn't even tell me. He's been attending the meetings. I hope you're watching, James. He's been attending the meetings and everything else and getting all the coaching and everything else and the interview prep and everything else. And this dude started the job 2 weeks into the program. I'm like, come on, man. Anyway, I'm not mad at you, James. I'm not. Okay, so don't send me a text message. All right. So this is what I tell people on the Fast Track program. I don't want you to have to worry about whether a person is going to see your resume or not. Imagine living in a world where you are being chased as a candidate, as opposed to you worrying about whether somebody's going to call you. See, many of you are worried, if I apply to this job, I wonder if they're going to call me. On the Fast Track program, they don't care about that. I'm going to tell you why in just a second. You'll understand. All right. So your resume is at the bottom of the pile. Now, here's the third reason. Listen to me. This one's going to be an eye opener for you. And this is the reason why people on my Fast Track program they don't care if people respond to them or not. Okay? Because they know they're going to get responses. Okay? All right. So the third reason why you are not getting job interviews is because you are applying to closed jobs. What are you talking about, Daniel? Yes, you are clicking apply and the job has already been filled 3 weeks ago. Let me explain it. Wait, don't respond yet. Don't leave. Let me explain it to you. Okay, let me explain it. This is how it works. I love telling people this because I want you to understand what's going on. Tap the screen, like the screen, like the live. If this is helpful to you, please tap the screen. Okay, watch. Check this out. This is how it works. When I talk with a hiring manager and I publish a position in the applicant tracking system, within seconds of me publishing it, it goes to the company's website and lands on their career page. 6 to 8 hours after I publish the job, LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Indeed.com, and all of the other job boards will put it on their site. They use a link that's embedded in the back of our applicant tracking system connected to our career page, that it falls on their site. So listen to what I'm about to tell you, please. When I close the job, let's say we hired your best buddy or whoever, we hired somebody, right? And I close the job, meaning it is no longer an active open job. It's closed. We're not recruiting for it anymore. The position has been filled. The moment I close it, it comes off of our career site. So you can't see it on the company's career site. But LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, and Indeed.com, they do not remove it from their site until 30 to 60 days after the job has been closed in the applicant tracking system. If that's a surprise to you, type OMG. Are you kidding me? I'm applying to jobs that are closed, that have been closed for 30 days. I am applying to those jobs? Yes. Yes, you are. Because you don't know how to filter the job boards correctly. Yes. You are applying to closed jobs. Now, I'm going to prove to you that you have been applying to closed jobs. When you apply to a closed job, within 5 minutes of you applying, tell me if you've ever gotten this message. Thank you very much for applying. We have decided to go with another candidate. Please go to our website and see if there are any other positions that you'll qualify for and reapply. Type yes if you ever gotten that message. Juba-san says, I like to prefer to apply directly to the company's website. You should never do that. I'm going to explain to you why in just a second. You should never, ever go to the company's website and apply. Ever. It is a complete waste of your time to go to the company's website and apply to the job. It is a complete waste of your valuable time. I'm going to tell you next why that is the case. Never, ever go to a company's website and apply. Okay? So, you get that quick message back. I'm the one that creates that message. You apply to the job, it was closed, it comes to the applicant tracking system, and there is no URL connected. When it sees that that job has been closed, it triggers that automatic response that says, thank you very much, we've decided to go with someone else. Go to our website, see if you qualify for other positions, and reapply. That's because your information is not in the system. All right? So, you are applying to jobs that are closed. Sorry to tell you, half of the positions that you apply to, they're closed. Nobody tells you how to apply to jobs. And LinkedIn's at recruitingindeed.com, they're not going to tell you that because they want to try to keep you on their site as long as possible. All right? Let me tell you the next reason why. Now, this is going to be an even bigger eye-opener for you. And many of you are going to call me names. I'm good with that. You can call me whatever you want. I don't care. All right? Check this out. The other reason why you are not getting interviews, please listen. It is because you are not applying to enough jobs each week. So now, let's test it. I know you are a baller. On average, how many jobs do you apply to each week? Type the number in the chat. How many jobs do you apply to each week? Is it 10? Is it 5? Is it 2? Is it 20? Like, what is that number? Type it in the chat. Leyland says 2. First 25 people, type it in the chat. How many jobs do you apply to on average each week? I'm going to tell you how many you should be applying to. The average person will say, if they are like crushing it, the average person says they are applying to about 30 jobs, 20 to 30 jobs per week. Right? They think they are killing it. Hanny says 4. Jubasan 10 to 15 on average each week. All right, so watch this. 3 to 4 week by Sunil Jacob. I'm going to tell you how many you should be applying to every week. This is not negotiable. I'm going to tell you why in just a second. You should be applying to 700 jobs every week. 700. 100 a day is what you should be applying to. If that's a surprise to you, type what? All caps. What? 700? Yes. $700 a week. And by the way, on my fast track program, clients apply to 100 jobs a day that match exactly what they want to do, making the money they want to make, and all they spend is 30 minutes a day. Yep. I'm going to tell you why you don't apply to that many jobs every single week. I'm going to tell you. Okay, so first, I said you should never go to a company's website. Okay, so I want you to understand this. The only reason why that job is on a job board is because we published the opening. And if you can apply to that job on a job board in seconds versus going to the company's website and spending 30 minutes, you should apply in seconds. Why? Because we don't care where your resume comes from as long as it gets into the applicant tracking system. Now, you can choose to spend 30 minutes, 35 minutes on the application and do one application, or you can use the route my fast track clients use and do 100 applications in that same 30 minutes. Now, let me explain to you why this is important. And this is going to be another surprise for you. When you apply to your 15 jobs a week, you are thinking to yourself, I just did 15 applications and I'm being considered by 15 companies because I qualify for all 15 jobs. That's not what's happening. So let's run the numbers. Let's do a round number because I want to make it easy. So let's say you apply to 20 jobs. You think I'm being considered for 20 positions. Remember, half of that 20 jobs is closed because you didn't filter the job boards correctly. So now you're only being considered for 10. Half of those 10, your resume does not show the hiring manager what they want to see. So now you're down to 5 jobs that week that you're being considered for. Half of those jobs, remember, your resume is at the bottom of the pile, so nobody will ever get to you. So now you're down to 2 jobs. You think you're being considered for 20 jobs a week, but it's really only like 2. You are only being considered for 10% of the jobs that you apply to. Did you know that? If that's a surprise to you, type, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Yes. So you are banging away at your 20 applications, and really only 2 people are potentially looking at you. 2 a week, 8 a month. So nobody's going to call you. That's why you don't get calls. That's why the number of people who reach out to you is so freaking low. Because you don't understand what's happening in the background. Okay? Now on my fast track program, clients apply to 100 700 jobs per day. 700 per week. I showed them this. Okay? Jobs that perfectly match exactly what they're doing, what they want to do, and the money they want to make. So, you are being considered for 2 jobs a week. They are being considered for 10 jobs minimum per day, 70 a week. See the difference? Clients on my Fast Track program get 4 interviews every week starting in week 2. Because the volume is necessary. 1, they don't apply to jobs that are closed because I showed them which jobs to not apply to and why. Number 2, their resume grabs the attention of hiring managers and recruiters, so they don't have that issue. Some of them, their resume is definitely at the bottom of the pile, so they're never going to be called, but they don't care because they have so many applications that have been done. That's why James was able to get a job in 2.5, 3 weeks. That's why John S, I don't want to say his last name. That's why he was able to get a job pretty fast. 190 grand. That's why everybody on the Fast Track program who follows the prescription, who does exactly what I tell them to do, that's why they get hired in 30 days or less. Because I know the recruiting game. Probably as good, if not better than almost anybody. I know what's happening. I'm the one that reports the KPIs in the applicant tracking system to leadership. So I know what the numbers are. Okay, so you have to apply to 100 jobs per day. Period. LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, and Indeed.com are the sites you need to be on. Every day. If you don't do that, now, what you're going to do is you're going to go to LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, and Indeed.com, and you're going to look at the site and you're going to say, but there's not that many jobs that are open. I'm going to prove to you right now that there are. All right? So, if you will type into the chat your job title or skill set, I'll tell you right now how many open jobs there are on LinkedIn searching my way for your work. Okay? Start typing in the chat. First 15, 20 people, I'll do this for you. Medical records, property manager, director of admissions, okay? So let's see how many medical records jobs there are open. Letitia says, how can I join the Fast Track program? I will tell you in just a moment. If you email me right now with the word Fast Track, someone on my team will send you the information. Okay, so medical records. So I want you to listen to me right now on LinkedIn for medical records pros. Based on the way I search, there's 173,882 jobs open. Okay? Property manager. Somebody from Canada just came to me and said, how can I find jobs in Ottawa or whatever for property management? Property management. 12,052 jobs. 12,052. Director of admissions. I don't know if it's a college, university, or what have you. Is it a college or university? Is it a hospital? What is it? $9,600 jobs. Now that's different career levels, but it's about 9,600. Business development, life sciences. 8,900 jobs for life science BD. Project manager. James H. just got a commercial project manager position in 3 weeks. He had been struggling. He came to me and was like, man, I hadn't got no interviews in months. Changed his life in 3 weeks. Project manager. $67,148 project manager jobs. Okay. Operations manager. I don't know where you're an ops manager at, but operations manager. 60,800 jobs. Medical assistant. I used to be a recruiting manager for a pediatric urgent care clinic company, hiring a bunch of medical assistants. $23,820 jobs. What did I do that you guys don't know how to do? Okay, so let me explain something to you. Most candidates are never taught how to search for jobs and how job boards work. They're never taught that. Now, what do I mean? Recruiters don't tell you what to look for to find their jobs. They don't tell you that. So you do what you know, right? What is that? You'll say, I'm a director of admissions at a college or a university. So you type in your previous job title, the job title you currently have, or the job title you want. That's what you type into LinkedIn. And then you don't get any results that come back. You're like, oh my God, there ain't no jobs open with this job title. But what you don't know is that's not how you're supposed to search for jobs. LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Indeed.com, and job boards do not respond well to job titles. Listen to me. You do not search for jobs using a job title on job boards. That's not how you find job openings. You have to search for the core skill and then sort everything after that. We in recruiting, in the applicant tracking system, when it asks us what keywords are associated with our job opening, those keywords are skills. They're not job titles. I am a director or a VP of talent acquisition. But the key core skill is recruiting. So I can't start my search with director of talent acquisition, VP of talent acquisition. I have to start my search with recruiting, recruiter. And then I sort after that. Everybody on my fast track program, they're surprised when I show them how many jobs are actually open. I'm going to give you another little secret. Many of you are stuck on your job title, and that's fine. I understand. That's all you know. Okay? But for every one job title there is out there, there are 50 other job titles that's different, but the skill and work is exactly the same. So a good example would be somebody may call me a talent acquisition pro. Somebody might call me a recruiting pro. Someone else may call me a people acquisition specialist, right? All of it's the same. It's recruiting, okay? So many companies call the same job a different title. So you are limiting yourself when you search for job title and not start your search with skill. Big issue. That's why nobody's calling you. And that's why you don't think that there are jobs open. Okay? So I have fixed that for fast track clients. So if you're interested in the fast track program as I go along here, all you got to do is send me an email and in the subject line type fast track. and someone from my team will send you an email with the information for Fast Track. I see Rick, I see you sent information about the Fast Track program. We'll respond in just a second. I only take 60 people a month. I only help 60 people a month land jobs. I can't do more than that. So if you want to be one of the 60 people, and I start a new Fast Track every Monday, you have to send me an email with the word Fast Track, and I'll send you the information. You can do whatever you want. All right. So you're not applying to enough jobs. You're not searching correctly for jobs. And then the final reason why, and this is really getting discouraging. Let me ask you a question, and just be honest with me. Is job searching time consuming and discouraging for you? If I just spoke to you, type yes. It is. It discourages me, and it takes up all of my time. I hate it. Right? Let me share this with you. Again, no one's going to tell you this. I challenge you to search the World Wide Web to find out if anybody will say this. The hire cycle from the time we apply to publish a job to the time we fill a job is 30 days. Week 1, we publish the position and gather candidates. Week 2, we do pre-screens and hiring manager interviews. Week 3, we do final interviews and offers. Week 4, offers are signed, we close the job. You have to start that process all over again every 30 days if you don't get a job. And so you're hammering away at looking for jobs, and you're hitting brick walls, and nothing happens, and no one's called you in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You got to start all over again with a fresh new batch of jobs. And you got to go through it again and again and again and again. And there are clients who come to me with my Fast Track program who have been searching for jobs for months. I have one guy who have been searching for work for 2 years. I don't even know how you make it. So you got to repeat the cycle every 30 days. Nobody's going to tell you that, but that's how it works. A job that I open today on June 10th, it will be filled by July 10th. And you can call me all you want about that job, but it's no longer available. That's what's happening. So you're repeating that cycle. If this is helpful to you, type "this is helpful" in the chat. Just take your phone, type "this is helpful" in the chat. I want to make sure I'm helping you guys. Excuse me, I'm dealing with allergies. On my Fast Track program, every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I do a group accountability session. I do a LinkedIn job search and interview prep training. And then I do onboarding every Wednesday for new Fast Track clients. So this is what I'm sharing with you right now is exactly what I teach them. All of them. They not tripping over their feet. They're getting. I had somebody send me an email. Oh, she was on live yesterday. She says, "I am overwhelmed." Jazzy, I don't know if she's here. Jazzy says, "I am overwhelmed by the number of responses I have been getting from my applications." Overwhelmed. Now, she didn't mean it from a negative perspective. She meant, people are calling me every day. I'm getting opportunities to interview every single day. People on my Fast Track program get calls all day, every day, starting week 2. I have a client on the Fast Track program. His name is Anai. He sent me a message about another interview he has. This has got to be his 6th interview. Easily his 6th interview. "Hey, Mr. Daniel, I got another interview for this pharma sales position I wanted to see if we can discuss briefly tonight. Tell me about your availability. I get these messages all day, every day from people on my fast track program who need to be prepped, talk about positions. Is this the right pay? And I help them all. Okay. So I'm thankful that this is helpful. Many of you have typed in the chat that this is helpful. Now we're going to transition to job interviewing. If job interviews drive you nuts, stress you out, make your hands sweat, like you are totally stressed out about it, can't sleep the night before, right? Type, that's me in the chat. Soft guy, I do a live every day at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Anita said, yes. Interviews stress me out. Oh my gosh, they're just so stressful. I'm going to tell you how to never be stressed in an interview. Ever. You shouldn't be. Now, the reason why you're stressed, the reason why you are biting your nails is because you don't have an idea. You have zero idea what the job interview is about. No one has told you. Again, search the worldwide, universal, planetary web. No one else will tell you this. Okay? On TikTok, we are low on our likes. Tap the screen. Every single person tap the screen 30 times. We'll get up to 10,000 likes in a second. All right, so check this out. Job interviews. I'm going to tell you how to never, ever be stressed in a job interview. I have a client on the I got to tell you this. I have a client on the Fast Track program who I did an interview prep with yesterday. He has gone through a pre-screen with a recruiter. Keep tapping the screen, please. We're at 2,000. Let's get to 10,000. He interview with the recruiter, interview with the hiring manager, interview with another director. And then he had an interview yesterday with the chairman of the board for the company. Not the whole board, just the chairman of the board. And he was like, I have no idea what to expect. Okay, that's what he told me. Dan, I don't know what to expect. Help me. So I said, John, first of all, this is going to be a softball interview. Okay? The chairman of the board has heard from everyone who's interviewed that you are the guy. And all they want to do is just meet you. So, I said, you're not going to stress out about it. They're just going to want to learn about you and the way you think from a business development perspective, because as a chairman of the board, he has the responsibility of making sure the company is performing for the investors. So he just want to talk to you. I said it's going to be about a 20-minute, 30-minute interview max. Ain't going to be no talking about your job. That's already been settled. They already know you can do the work. He's just trying to see if he can connect with you, because he's thinking to themselves, I need to help this guy, direct this guy to get whatever done. So he had the interview yesterday. He sent me a message today and said, that chairman of the board interview was exactly what you said. You know how many people I have, executives I've given interviews for boards? Like many. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying, when you get to that spot, they're not trying to see if you could do the job. They're just trying to understand the person that they're going to be working with. So watch this. The job interview. You fail in the job interview in the first 2 questions because you think the job interview is about your work history. You think the job interview is about you getting the opportunity to sell the hiring manager on your ability to solve their problem. You think that the job interview is about your skill. It's not about any of that. In fact, On my fast track program, I tell clients, do not talk about your previous work history at all. Don't even mention where you worked, what you did. Don't even let it come out of your mouth. Now, how many of you, be honest, you go in and you talk about your previous work history in an interview? Type yes, that's me in the chat. Yeah, that's me. I talk about my work history because that's what I'm supposed to be talking about, right? Isn't that what I'm supposed to talk about? Type yeah. Come on, Daniel. What are we supposed to talk about? You're not supposed to talk about your work history. Now, if you've been with me anytime, you'll notice I'm not just saying that to just be saying it. I'm going to tell you why. You see, the reason why I tell clients never talk about your work history. Here's why. We already know you could do the job. We have your resume. The only reason why you were selected is because we believe, based on what we've seen, that you could do the job. So that matter is settled. Okay, so if they already know I can do the job and they're not looking to talk to me about my skill as it relates to the job, then why are they wanting to interview me? Here's why. When you apply to a job, we review your resume and select you to interview because of your skill. Okay? When we interview you, when you've made it to the hiring manager interview, they're interviewing you to take a look at your character. So you are selected to interview for your skill, but you are selected to be hired because of your character, not your skill. You could be the most skilled person on the planet, but if your character does not align in a way what the hiring manager thinks is something they want, you are not going to get the job. Now, if that's a surprise to you, type, wow. So let me say that again because this is important. When we look at your resume, we're looking at your ability to solve our problem, your skill, your ability, the things you do with your hands, your mouth, your eyes, your ears, your brain. That's what we're looking at, right? I call that, let's just call it the outside of you, the outer you. Okay? When we are interviewing you, we're interviewing you to get a look on the inside, your character. Now, let me explain it to you so you can understand. So this is actually what the hiring manager is thinking. I'm going to give you two pictures here. Picture number one. The hiring manager is thinking this. Okay, Daniel, if I hire you today, I need you to know something. In 1 week, I have to leave for 2.5 months. I'm going to be gone. You won't be able to call me. I won't be able to call you. I don't have access to internet or email, so I won't get any emails. You can't email me and I can't email you. Here's the question. What will I be coming back to when I return? Okay, I want you to think about that feeling you just got. You're saying to yourself, oh, you're going to come back to a place that's even better than it is right now. You don't have anything to worry about. All of the meetings are going to be taken care of. All of the work is going to be done. Everything is going to be perfect. That's what you're thinking, right? Well, that's what they're thinking when they interview you. Do you have the kind of character and work ethic and honesty and commitment? Do you have that kind of character? If I hire you, can I count on you, right? That's not the job, not the work. Not can you sell or do payroll or recruit. No, 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 no. Do you have the kind of character that can sustain this place if I walk away for 2 months, right? That's first. Now, this is the second picture I want to paint for you. Imagine I fly into your city this afternoon and you and I are having lunch. Barbecue smothered pterodactyl. Delicious, right? We're enjoying it. And all of a sudden, I get a phone call. I'm on the phone for like 6 minutes. And I get off the phone and I say, I am so sorry. I just got a call. It is emergency. I need to get to it like right now. Can I borrow your car? What's your answer? Type it in the chat. Yes or no? Will you let me borrow your car? Now, most people, Anita, you're so nice. Most people would say, no, you cannot borrow my car. I'm sorry. Nope. I'll call an Uber. Jubison says yes too. You guys are nice today. Guess what? I'm not letting you borrow my car. You cannot borrow my car. And you'll be lucky if I take you. Right? I might take you where you want to go or call you an Uber or a Lyft or something like that, but you can't borrow my car. Now, the reason why most people say no is because I don't know you. I don't trust you. I don't know if you're going to care for my car in the same way I care for my car. You understand? That's what the job interview is about. They're trying to figure out, if I give you this job, are you going to take care of it like it's supposed to be taken care of? Now, this is what most of you do in an interview and the mistake you make. Okay? This is the mistake you make. All right? You go into an interview thinking that you have to sell your expertise, when the truth is your expertise has already been sold. That has already been determined. So this is what happens. You sit down, hiring manager walks into the interview with your resume, says, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Want to get the interview started. And this is the first question they ask you. Tell me if you've ever gotten this question. Thank you so much for coming. Tell me about yourself. Type yes in the chat if you've ever gotten that question before. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself. Right? First question you get. If you've ever gotten that question, type yes in the chat. Now, here's how you respond. You say, well, my name is Daniel. I've been in talent acquisition and recruiting for 36 years. I've hired this many people. I've done this. I've done that. I've done this. I've done that. I've been this. I've been that. I've been there. I've done that. I've done this. I've done that. I've accomplished this. I've accomplished that. I've accomplished this and I accomplished that. And the hiring manager is thinking, whack, 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 because they're saying, why are you telling me that? I already know you did that. I have your resume in front of me. Stop talking about your job. I already know you did that. That's why I picked you. That's not what I'm asking you. What they're saying is, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I have your resume and know about your work history. But what I want to know is about the character of the person sitting in front of me. That's what they actually mean when they say, tell me about yourself. Tell me about the character that makes you who you are. If that's a surprise to you, type wow in the chat. If that is a surprise, type wow. What? Yes, that's exactly what they're asking you, because they already know about your work history. They're not trying to find out about your work history. What they're trying to find out about is your character. Tell me about the character traits that make you who you are. What are they trying to do? Establish trust. They're trying to establish trust. So when you talk about your work history, right? Strike one. Now I'm going to tell you how you know a hiring manager is checked out. So strike one. So they give you another chance. So do you tell them about your family? No. Now I'm going to say something that's going to sound a little abrasive. They don't care about your family. They don't even care about you yet. So you don't talk about your family. You don't talk about the pink slipper you knit for your gerbil. You don't talk about the diamond earrings you put in your pit bull. Nobody cares about that. So you don't talk about it. You talk about your character. Okay? That's what you're supposed to talk about, because that's what they're asking about. Okay? Now, if you get that question wrong, they're going to give you one more shot. One. Tell me if you've ever gotten this question. Next question they're going to say is, I see you're currently working. Why are you looking to leave your current job? Why are you looking to leave your current employer? Type yes in the chat if you've ever gotten that question. Type yes in the chat if you've ever gotten that question. If you ever got that question, type yes in the chat. Yeah, they're going to ask you. Well, what are they really asking you when they ask you the question, why are you looking to leave your current employer? What are they looking for? Okay, watch this. Listen. See, now you think they want to know that you're ambitious. So you say, well, I am looking for a better opportunity. I am looking for better pay. I am looking for career growth or career advancement. That's what you say, right? But this is what the hiring manager hears. Oh, so you have a job and you're looking to leave this job because you're looking for a better opportunity, which tells me if I hire you and a better opportunity comes along, you're probably going to take that job too. No, thank you. I will hire someone else. If that's a surprise to you, type what? Yes. Wait a minute. You have got to be kidding me, Daniel. Is that what that means? Yes. That's strike two. And in job interviewing, there is no strike three. It's 2 strikes and you're out. So when you answer those 2 questions wrong, the hiring manager, you're going to notice they immediately shift. They're going to start talking about the job and everything they want someone to do. What they're trying to do is get through the interview as fast as they can to get you out of their face. That's what they're doing. So, you never answer like that. Ever answer like that. Instead, you should say, the company that I currently work for, great company, but I really place a premium, a high value on team success, not individual success. I believe I can get that here, which is why I'm looking to leave my current employer. That's the answer. Next question they're going to ask you is, tell me, what do you know about us, or why do you want to work here? And many of you are like, well, I haven't looked up the company yet. I'm coming here to learn. And that is an automatic, you're out of here. So you mean to tell me that you have come into this interview and you don't know anything about us? Is that what you're telling me? Right? And so a hiring manager, they will X you out because of that. So you should say, you know what? I've done my research. You guys are the best. I want to work for the best. That's the answer. Shouldn't say anything else. After they ask you these 3 questions, then they'll talk to you about behavior-based questions. Use the STAR interview answer framework to answer those questions. Situation, task, action, results. Okay? You got to know how to use that properly. I teach this to everyone in the Fast Track program. So you don't go down, spiral out of control, down a rabbit hole and give a 6-minute answer. You should be able to answer STAR behavior-based questions in 45 to 60 seconds or less. And that's what I show everybody on the Fast Track program. Now watch this. At the end, when they have done interviewing you, said everything they're supposed to say, they're going to say this. That is all I have. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, now I want you to be honest. At the end of an interview, how many questions do you typically ask the hiring manager? Type the number in the chat. How many? Anita, 2. I'm going to tell you how many you should be asking. 2 questions. Anita says I asked 2. Several people will say, 2 questions, 3 questions. I asked the hiring manager several questions like that. Okay? How many questions should you ask? Juba-san says 3 to 5. So listen to what I'm about to tell you, please. Hiring managers don't want you to ask them questions. Don't give it away, Smiley Education Co. Hiring managers do not want you to ask them questions. So you're asking things like, hey, what's the culture like? You're asking, what does success look like 30, 60, 90 days from now? What was the person like that vacated this position? What does success look like for the person that was in this role previously, right? You're asking all these questions. The hiring manager's like, stop asking me those questions. They don't want you to ask them questions. Trust me, they don't. Right? Now, I say you shouldn't ask any questions, but actually, there's only one question you should ask. Okay? Now, I know why you want to ask questions. You want to ask questions because you want to show them, hey, I'm very interested in this job. I'm a very ambitious person. You're trying to sell yourself. Right? But you don't have to do that. The fact that you made it this far in the interview tells you something. That the hiring manager likes you. Okay? If you didn't blow those first couple of questions. So when they say, do you have any questions for me? You should only ask one question. And I'm going to tell you what that question is. This question is going to do 2 things. Number 1, it is going to tell the hiring manager that you're very interested in the job if they make you an offer. That's the first thing. The second thing is it's going to tell you right there on the spot if the hiring manager is going to make you an offer. Now, if you would like to know right there on the spot if you are going to get an offer or not, type yep in the chat. I want to know. I'm sick and tired of walking away from these interviews and not knowing. I want to know if I am going to get an offer. Yes, you want to know. So I'm going to tell you what to do. At the end of the interview, when the hiring manager says, do you have any questions for me? They're really telling you, I have already made my decision and the interview is over. Out of courtesy, I'm trying to be polite. Do you have any questions to ask me? They're not really asking you to ask them questions. But you're going to ask one question. You're going to say this. When would you... Yes, I really, really liked everything that you had to say. Thank you so much for sharing. I do have one question for you. When would you like me to get started? That's the question you're going to ask. Now, why do you ask that question? One, you just told the hiring manager you're very interested in the job. So you didn't have to ask a bunch of questions to let them know that you're interested. Number two, you are about to see from their response if they're going to make you an offer, which is what you really want to know. So if they respond like this to that question, when would you like for me to get started? If they say, well, we do have several other people that we need to interview. However, and once we interview everyone else, then we would decide who we want to bring in to get started. If they sing that song to you right there, they're not going to make you an offer. It's over. So if you've ever heard that, type yes in the chat. Okay? If they respond like this, you say, thank you very much for the interview. I really learned a lot about the job. Oh my goodness, that was awesome. I do have one question for you. Where would you like for me to get started? If they respond like this, well, the next steps in the process are someone from talent acquisition HR reach out to you, complete your application, got to get your onboarding done, got to get this done, got to get that done. And I'm looking to have someone start June 16th. Can you start on June 16th? If you get that response, you can almost guarantee you're going to get a job offer. That's why you ask that question. On my fast track program, that's why they ask. That's the only question they ask. It's the most impressive question any candidate can ask in an interview. Now, every hiring manager knows if they're going to make you an offer within 30 minutes following your interview. They know whether you're a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I require that decision from every hiring manager I work with. They all know it. So you should know it too. I don't want you walking away from an interview and then saying, I thought I did great. Why did I get this rejection letter? And then they'll say to you what I said in the beginning. Oh, you did great. There was nothing wrong with what you did or what you said. You did great. We just decided to go with someone else who was more experienced. Lies, 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 lies. They didn't like you. That's why they didn't pick you. Your character did not shine through. That's why they didn't pick you. You thought it was about your skill, but it's not about your skill. That matter's been settled in the interview phase, in the screening phase. It was about your character. And because you did not showcase your character as a strong, honest, committed, loyal, hardworking person, they said, no, thank you. So that's what's happening to many of you. If this is familiar to you, type yes in the chat. If this is familiar to you, type yes in the chat. Yeah, many of you are experiencing this. I come on live every single day. I post content every single day trying to help you guys understand that this is what the process is. So if I said anything to you today that made sense, that rang a bell to you, I'm going to tell you what you can do to fix it. Okay? So I have a guy on my fast track program that graduated in April 7th. Okay? His name is Ron. Last name begins with an S. Ron was like most of you. Okay? He had been out of a job for 8 months. He was laid off, wasn't fired, terminated, company downsized. 8 months he had been working for that company for 3 years. Left the company that he was working at for a long time to go take this job. And he was hoping he was going to be able to ride off into the sunset and retire with this job. So he's in his mid-50s. Senior sales account manager, successful, 30 years experience. But Ron was laid off like August July of last year. So Ron met me in February of this year. He attended one of my trainings and said, hey, I want to know if you can help me. And I said, well, what's the deal? He says, well, I've been searching for jobs for 8 months. I have not gotten one interview, not one. Severance is running out. Unemployment is ending. I'm desperate. I was making $120,000 on this job. This severance is not covering it. The unemployment is not covering it. I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay? He says, I think I'm being aged out of the market. I think they want to hire someone that's younger and pay them less money. Do you think you can help me? And I said, I think I can. Okay? So he said, okay, I'm going to try. So he says, I'm going to jump on your fast track program. And I said, okay, this is what I said. Ron, if you do everything I tell you, I mean, don't skip anything, you will have multiple written job offers in 30 days or less. But you have to do everything. You can't tell me you're doing something and you're not doing it, because I'll know based on the results you get. He says, no, Daniel, I'm all in. I'll do it. So he says, I'll make the investment, and he did. So the first day of the fast track program, I did onboarding for Ron. And I said, okay, first thing we need to do is fix your resume. So I fixed his resume. I made his resume an attraction magnet. So when recruiters and hiring managers see his resume, it's like that expert plumber thing I told you earlier. So, and then I said, we're going to go to LinkedIn, because it's a public profile, public professional profile. We're going to fix that. So we did. And I said, now that we're on LinkedIn, I'm going to show you how to search for jobs and apply to 100 jobs per day using LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Indeed.com, which I did. So I did that training for him. And I said, now that you learned that, you're going to do this every day. It's going to take you 30 minutes a day. Every day. Can you make a commitment to do this every day for 30 minutes? He said, of course I can. So I said, good. So that's what he did. He started applying to jobs. First week, I told him, nobody's going to call you. Okay? But the second week, everybody's going to blow your phone up starting the second week. So the second week, he had 4 scheduled interviews. 4. Remember, he come to me 8 months earlier. He hadn't had any. So in 1 week, he had 4 interviews. At the end of that second week, he had 2 hiring manager interviews. And I told him, do not stop applying to jobs. You got to keep with the 100 per day. So he says, I'm going to do it, Dan. So I prepped him before every interview. I coached him before every interview. I was supporting him all the way through the entire process, like I do everyone on the Fast Track program. Week 3, he had 3 more interviews. At the end of week 3, he got 2 written job offers. But at the end of week 3, he also got 2 final interviews with hiring managers that was supposed to happen on Monday, April 6th. So he called me and said, Daniel, I got these 2 offers, but I'm not ready to accept them. I want to see what these other 2 companies are going to potentially offer me, so I want to interview them. What do I need to say to these other companies? So I told him what to say to get a couple extra days. So Monday he went and did his final interviews with those other 2 companies, and he was supposed to be meeting with me on Monday in the group accountability meeting. He didn't show up on the call, on the Zoom call. I thought he was going to reach out to me and let me know which offer he was going to accept on Tuesday. He was going to call me because he usually calls me, but he didn't. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on with this dude, right? Well, Tuesday, April 7th at 4:16, he sent me an email. Hey, Coach Dan. And I know you wanted to chat with me about the offer, but honestly, the company met everything I requested in terms of salary, vacation, holiday pay, investment in their pension plan. My new role will be as commercial manager in the medical business unit with commercial responsibilities over 6 shared locations. with customer service managers, operational teams who do not report directly to the medical business unit. Coach Daniel, your program is outstanding. I will be more than happy to provide you an exceptional endorsement. Coach, your formula really does work. Thank you so much. Best regards, Ron. Now, this is June 10th. I have not spoken to Ron since this email. Okay? He has ridden off into the sunset. $140,000. The job that he had prior to that was $120,000. He had a $20,000 pay increase with his job. He had been out of work for 8 months. What's the deal? What was the issue? Was it Ron? Was it his age? Was it they were trying to go with younger staff? It was none of that. And I told him that this doesn't have anything to do with that. You just don't know what you're doing. You don't know what's happening on my side of the table. So now that I've shown you what to do to get to people like me and past people like me, it's easy. And that's what happened. Many of you are facing the exact same thing right now. What the heck am I going to do? Right? That's what you're thinking. And you're thinking, I'm going to take everything he said and I'm going to try it myself. Do it. Make it happen. Or you're thinking, I need help. Can he help me? There's a scripture in the Bible that says, faith without works. Saying you have faith, but you do not have corresponding actions with that faith. Right? You're not going to get any benefit at all. There won't be a benefit. Zero. Information without taking action that corresponds to the information that you know you should be taking action on. Nothing in your life will change. You say, I want to lose weight. I need to lose 20 pounds, but you keep eating bonbons, ice cream, right? French fries, McDonald's hamburgers. You keep eating junk food and you're saying, I want to lose 20 pounds, but you keep doing the same thing. Nothing's going to happen. Okay? You say, I want to make more money, but you're doing nothing that corresponds with that. I want to have a better relationship with my spouse or my significant other, but you're still being selfish, not communicating, only thinking about you, right? Nothing's going to change in your life if you don't take actions that correspond with the change you say you want. So I've sat here with you for 90 minutes, told you exactly what the problem is and how to fix it. Now you got to make a decision about whether you're serious about doing it or not. So, Daniel, what does it cost? I will tell you. Okay. You say, I need to get my resume fixed. Step 1, email me a copy of your resume and we will do a free resume review for you. It's free. I'll tell you what to change, what to fix. You can do it yourself. If you decide, Daniel, I don't want to do it myself. Can you do it for me? Yes. I'll do it. How much does it cost? If you want a resume only, $75. It will attract the attention of hiring managers and recruiters and get you more interviews. If you want a resume plus a cover letter, we call that our plus package. It's a cover letter that you send to the hiring manager when you get the hiring manager interview. That's $88. If you want my complete package, which is the best value, resume plus a cover letter, plus a job board optimized resume that allows you to create profiles without having to type things over and over again. And to eliminate stress in interviews, I'm going to give you my top 50 interview questions and how I would answer them. So you never, ever have to worry about any question anybody asks you is in this guide. It's free. And if you sign up today, you get 5% off. So it's not $98. It's $93 or something like that, right? Just got to take action. You might say, Daniel, you talked about this fast track program. What is that all about? What does it cost and what does it include? So the fast track program, I do your resume. It's included. LinkedIn profile, it's included. Your interview prep, it's included. One-on-one coaching, it's included. Group coaching, it's included. Offer coaching, it's included. You have a direct cell number to me. It's included. I train you every week on LinkedIn job searches and interview prep. Every week, it's included. How much is it, Daniel? Don't hold out. It's $497. And I am so confident that I guarantee you're going to get a job in 30 days if you do everything that I say, that I let you pay that in 4 months installments. $125 a month for 4 months. Even though, like Ron, you're going to get the job in the first 30 days. That's my guarantee. But you have to do everything that I tell you to do. Spend 30 minutes a day. You will get a higher paying job, guaranteed. So here's the question. What you going to do? Right? I've given you the information. You have to make a decision. Nothing is going to change in your life if you don't take action. Thank you guys so much for joining the live today. Everybody who sent me a resume, we will do a resume review and send you a response. If you are interested in the Fast Track program, one of the limited spots that I have starting this coming Monday, email me right now with the word Fast Track, and I will have my staff send you information right now that you can click a link and read, and you can decide what you want to do. Thank you guys so much.